So on this channel, we've been touching a lot into the student loan, President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, program, whatever you would like to call it. And pretty much, as we know, the Republicans have really been pushing back on that, calling it unconstitutional. And they've actually taken Joe Biden and or this bill, whatever you would like to call it, to court and everything like that. So this has been real interesting. A lot of people have been waiting around. They're trying to see, hey, should I take out this loan on this house? Should I, take out a loan for a car, or should I be worried about paying my student loan bills? And that's one of the biggest things one of the biggest reasons why I think that we should really get this figured out is because people just don't know what to do with their money. Obviously, you could invest in a business or something like that if you don't know that you need to pay these student loans and everything like that. And obviously, there's people on the other side who are saying this is completely unfair. This is unconstitutional. You're using the taxpayers' money to essentially punishing the taxpayers for people who were essentially unprepared, and took out a loan that they were not willing to pay. And they're saying, why is it my job, to pay for that? And so I'm seeing there's an article here that is basically saying that there will be a lot of consequences if the student loan bill does not come into fruition. A lot of consequences that a lot of us may not have considered. So I think it's very important that we look into this. We see possibly what's going on with all of that, and we can see necessarily what could be the consequences of this, and everything like that. So I'm not going to hold you guys up. If you guys like this type of content, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And I appreciate all of you who show a lot of love for this channel, because I do like making these videos for you guys. I do like getting the dialogue going and overall making as many people more informed as, I also want to be, which is the reason why I made this channel in the first place. But let me not hold you up, so let's go ahead and get into the article, people. Okay, so this says, what happens if the Supreme Court strikes down student loan forgiveness? Here are 3 predictions. Now, it says it's possible that the U.S. Supreme Court will strike down the Biden administration's student loan forgiveness plan, leading to a reversal for the millions of Americans who had been expecting debt cancellation. And like I said, I hope a lot of you guys haven't already gone out and bought that new Tesla. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like it really might not happen, in my honest opinion. Now, President Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, our guy, we love Joe Biden over here. I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it back. In August, announced that he forgive at least $10,000 and up to $20,000 for tens of millions of federal student loan borrowers. And we all know where that money is going to come from. That money is going to come from the taxpayers. So, yeah. Within months, however, Republicans and conservative groups had brought at least 6 legal challenges against his plan. The justices have agreed to hear oral arguments over 2 of these lawsuits at the end of February. And that's how we knew that the judges were kind of not with this, because they really accepted these, they pretty much accepted these charges against, this bill. And it says, what if the Supreme Court rules against the president and the promised debt relief never materializes? This is what experts predict. A historically large hike in delinquencies and defaults. Now, the U.S. Department of Education Undersecretary James Cavall said in a recent court filing that if the government isn't allowed to provide debt relief, there could be a historically large increase in the amount of federal student loan delinquency and defaults as a result of the C-19 pandemic. Despite student loan borrowers being offered forbearances during previous natural disasters, default rates still skyrocketed when payments resumed. You know what I'm saying? Because really, the reason why they're saying that this is possibly constitutional is that our nation is technically in still a state of what is it called? A state of emergency. And it was in a state of emergency because of the C-19 pandemic. Obviously, people weren't able to get the goods that they need. Businesses weren't able to get the goods that they need. A lot of people got laid off. Excuse me. Things like that. Ooh, sorry, guys. Oh, my gosh. Oh, let me hit a dance for that. Shimmy it out. I'm sorry, but like I was saying, Our country is technically in a state of relief, but or a state of emergency because of this. And what happens is when the country is in a state of emergency, you are allowed to do these bailouts and these things like this because people have not had the opportunities that they would have been afforded, traditionally. And that's kind of the whole idea of the government, is kind of evening the playing ground for the people. You know what I'm saying? Evening the playing ground and allowing it to be where, if somebody works harder, then they can, they can supersede the rest of the people. And if somebody doesn't want to work, then obviously they will not be punished for that, but they will not, contribute as much to society and not make as much and have as much of an influence in society. But the thing is about everyone having equal opportunity. That's the thing. And that's what I think the government is really here for, is to give everyone that opportunity to have equal opportunity. Now, it says that the pandemic era relief policy pausing federal student loan payments has been in effect since March 2020, and payments aren't scheduled to resume until after the litigation over the president's plan is resolved or at the end of August, whichever comes sooner. Now, Caval said that the one-time student loan debt relief program was intended to avoid skyrocketing default rates. So it says the borrowers most in jeopardy of defaulting are those for whom Biden's student loan forgiveness plans would have wiped out their balance entirely, Caval says. So he's pretty much saying this could be essentially a negative thing for these type of people if they know that these rates could possibly come out. Student loans know, okay, we're not going to be really getting a lot of this money back, or we're going to be getting it from the government. Then possibly they could start increasing rates for people who are trying to go to school now and everything like that, and that could be really bad. Obviously that could be really bad for these people. As we already know, the student loan issue is a very bad issue right now. It's already kind of out of hand. But the administration estimated that its policy would do so for around 18 million people, which is a lot of people. And Caval said these student loan borrowers had the reasonable expectation and belief that they would not have to make additional payments on their federal student loans. This belief may well stop them from making payments, even if the department is prevented from effectuating debt relief. And like I said, this is why we really need to get this figured out quick, because I think a lot of people will be out here and they're going to be like, hey, Daddy Joe Biden is about to pay off my student loan debt, so let me go out and live it up. Let me hit these Atlanta clubs. I'm from Atlanta. Let me go out here and hit these Atlanta clubs, and I'm not getting a 10-piece wing, I'm getting a 20-piece wing. What you mean? I'm about to get my new condo because now I ain't got to pay this $20,000. I'm about to get this new car, and I'm about to drive, and I'm about to swerve, and I'm about to get all these girls, and everything like that. But jokes aside, like, if people don't know what's going to happen to their money, there's going to be a lot of people who will stop paying their student debts, and that's probably what everybody is doing. Why would you sit out here and pay your student debt if you know that it could possibly be getting relieved? Like, that's dumb. It would be dumb for you to, like, let's keep it a stack. It would be dumb. And I'm not even a person who agrees with this. I do think this is very unfair, that a lot of people will be able to get off their student, debt, like, relieved, when a lot of people, are paying for that. Like, think about it like this. You're a parent. You work very hard, to provide your kids with the opportunity to go to college and everything like that, and you worked your entire life to put money to the side for this purpose, and now and you pay it off for your child, and now there's people who are going to just get that same thing that you worked your whole life for free. It's almost like a kick in the face to people who were actually, prepared, and doing what they were supposed to do. And this is how a lot of Republicans feel, and this is why they're fighting back on this. It makes sense why they would fight back on this. And this isn't me saying that I'm not for student debt relief. I mean, a lot of people my age are dealing with, a lot of this type of stuff. They're dealing with, their student loans, and those are really being a problem like that and everything like that. My brother's in med school. I know his student debt has got to be going insane. If he could have that relieved, it would be a blessing for him. And even though he, will possibly come out and become a doctor, it could be a minute before he pay off them student loans and actually really gets to reap the benefits of, you know what I'm saying, his hard work. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, obviously me thinking personally, I would say I would love for my brother, you know what I'm saying, to get his debt relieved and everything like that. But thinking at it from an overall standpoint is not necessarily fair if other people have to pay off his debt, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. Shout out to my boy. But it says restarting federal student loan payments without delivering forgiveness would lead to severe political consequences for the Democrats, says Astra Taylor, co-founder of the Debt Collective, a union of debtors. And yeah, this would be bad. It's one of those things where if you're not ready and you're making promises to people and you're trying to make yourself look better, Biden was looking real bad before he came out with this. I don't know if you guys remember, Biden was looking real bad. He was looking real Sleepy Joe. And then he came out with this, and then people was back to, oh my God, Daddy Biden. You know what I'm saying? Daddy Biden over here coming with the sack like Santa Claus. Pause. You feel me? But and everything like that, you know. And so it would be a real bad look for Democrats if they weren't able to get this pushed. And it says Biden will be relaunching his 2024 re-election campaign as America's debt collector. If the ultra-conservative U.S. Supreme Court blocks the president's plan, Taylor said Biden must explore other legal ways to deliver relief from borrowers. And that's going to be very difficult if, you know what I'm saying, if the courts and the government isn't really backing you. Getting that money is going to be tough if you can't get it from the taxpayers and you got to go somewhere else, because who is about to give up that money? Like, who's about to give up that money? Let's be real. Now, she pointed to the possibility of the president using a different law to justify his plan, such as the Higher Education Act of 1965, which states that the Education Department can enforce, pay, compromise, waive, or release any right, title, claim, lien related to student federal loans. And this may have to be the route that he goes if he can't, you know, get this pushed, you know, and everything like that. Currently, they're using the HEROES Act of 2003 to argue it has the authority to cancel student debt. And, you know, this is obviously the law that, you know, applies to if there is a state of emergency in the country, which, like I said, there is because of, you know, C-19. Now, it says that allows the Education Department to make modifications to federal student loan programs during national emergencies. Critics accuse the administration of using the C-19 pandemic to fulfill a campaign promise and to say that relief is not targeted to those who have suffered financially because of C-19. And you can kind of understand this. If we're in a state of emergency because of C-19, then the people who are getting benefits because of this, you have to be able to prove that, you know, that they're, you know, not able to make these payments because of C-19. And in effect, a lot of Republicans are saying that these are two separate things. They're saying that these student loan debts don't come from that. And a lot of these people, you know, incurred these student loan debts well before the pandemic even came. So they're like, how did this even affect it? You know what I'm saying? But that's essentially what they're using as justification, you know, for this payout. Now, another path the president could take could be trying to not infidelity. Dang, Biden must be out here. Biden, you out here like that? Boy, you better go. Boy, you kind of old. You might need to stay with your wife. But I'm just playing. Indefinitely extend the pandemic era pause on federal student loan payments, said higher education expert Mark Kantrowitz. That move, he said, is likely to survive the legal challenge. Now, this one's interesting here that it says a disastrous blow to Black Americans. I did not in any way think about how this would affect Black America in general. But it sounds like this could have, you know, a possible impact. Let's see what it's talking about. Now, it says the country's 1.7 trillion student loan crisis has hit Black Americans especially hard. As we know, Black women are one of the biggest groups that actually goes to school. Yeah, it's very interesting. Unfortunately, they make the less, but they go to school the most. And you know, going to school is going to lead you into a lot of student loan debt. So then, that's obviously something they're going to have to look into. Now, it says black student loan borrowers owe $7,400 more on average at graduation than their white peers. So this is definitely going to be something that a lot of, black institutions and black people will want to look into, because this is, obviously, I wouldn't say a black issue, but it's a issue that very much needs to be looked at by black people. If we're traditionally owing $7,000 more than our white counterparts, that's not saying that white people shouldn't look at it, but that's just saying I could understand why this would be a little bit more important to black people. That only makes sense because black people have more student loan debt. Now, that inequality only gets worse with time. Black college students owe on average more than $52,000 4 years after graduation, compared to around $28,000 for average white graduate. If Biden's student loan forgiveness fell through, it would be a disastrous blow to black Americans, the National Director of Youth and College Division at the NCAACP. Now, it says the racial wealth gap will widen and the vicious cycle of economic inequality will continue. If our leaders truly believe Black Lives Matter, oh my God, I hate when people use Black Lives Matter. Guys, Black Lives Matter stole money from us. Can we please stop using Black Lives Matter? I love black people and I want the best for my people, but can we please stop supporting Black Lives Matter? They stole money from us right in front of our faces, and we still it's like we can't come up with something else. Can we come up with something else, please? Do I need to start this? I'm about to Malcolm X it up in here. I'm tired of this. This is ridiculous. If you support Black Lives Matter, I'm tired of you. You need to go on somewhere. Guys, I'm sorry. I got a little unprofessional there. But Black Lives Matter makes me mad because they literally stole from us right in front of our face, bought dinners and mansions, and we're just still saying, if Black Lives Matter, bro, stop saying that. They should understand failure is not an option. So I do think it's pretty interesting to look into the consequences of a lot of this. The thing with the blacks, the blacks, God, that makes me sound terrible. I don't mean it like that. You guys know what I mean. But the thing that black people are going to be more affected by this is very interesting, and that is something to look into. And obviously, like I said, black women are one of the most enrolled, in colleges, so it would make a lot of sense that they would take on this student debt. And this would be a great thing for Biden, especially since he comes out, he says he makes all these promises for black people. He hasn't fulfilled on them at all and everything. This would be a good way for him to, get back into, that crowd like he's trying to, Joe Biden's trying to be welcome to the barbecue, and this is one way that Joe Biden can be welcome to the barbecue, and everything like that. So I want to know what you guys think about this. I want to know what you guys think about the constitutionality of this in general. Do you guys think that this is just unfair and you're essentially punishing people that were more prepared? Or do you guys think this is what the government is for? This is what they're supposed to be? The C-19 pandemic came down, it caused a lot of people to have to deal with a lot of, unfair opportunities possibly. And this is what the government's supposed to do, is use their resources that they have to, sometimes bail out people or, kind of make it equal opportunity of outcome, and everything like that, and everything like that. So I want to definitely hear what you guys think about that whole thing. So I hope you guys have a great day. I appreciate all of you guys who show a lot of love to the channel and everything like that. You're much appreciated, and I love making these videos for you guys and getting the dialogue going. I really want to get the live streaming so I can really talk to you guys face to face about a lot of these topics and that kind of thing going on. So look out for that in the future, and I hope you guys have a great and blessed day.